Taps in here and ET and Isha can do Kemet. I hope you're doing well. I want to check that the sound is loud and clear. Bear with me. Let's do this and this. How does it sound now? This. Okay, okay, sounds nice. Loud and clear. That's beautiful. All right. So I had a live stream earlier on the Toaka based channel called Moorish World TV. It went very well. Really appreciated the dialogue, and I'm supposed to get back over there to talk about the Melanated mainly. I'm always free to talk about any other topics. I just want to let the people know that I'm live streaming, so I'm about to share the link. Me live. Sorry, live. Sorry. Great. So now people know that I am live streaming. Some of you might wonder why I have put up this picture here. Now we have Laden, we have Erdogan, the president of Turkey, then we have Saddam, former president of Iraq, and then we have the king of Saudi Arabia. And the title of this video says Melanated. We'll never agree on everything in life. And I've heard many different claims coming from different persuasions of Asiatic black men. But today, I kind of heard something different about people being melanated. It's probably mainly with the Moors, but it seems difficult to establish the ethnicity of individuals. And maybe we will have an opportunity to talk about it again. But I give it to the brother Tahaka. Tahaka, he's holding up to his statements publicly because many people will make those kind of statements, but being anonymous and unidentified. So there's no accountability. But to make the long story short, I invite you all to go on Moorish World TV and listen to this to the discussion that we had. But you will hear that, according to Tahaka Bey and I guess some other Moors, Osama bin Laden is melanated. So he's not white. Saddam Hussein was, I said is for Osama. Osama bin Laden was melanated. Of course, he's dead now. Saddam Hussein was melanated, but not white. Bottom right corner, the king of Saudi Arabia. He is melanated, not white. But for a strange reason, top right corner is a picture of the president of Turkey. Now, he is white. He is not melanated. How does that look like to you? I did not really expound, but I did say at one point that it sounds like some double standard to me. Because with the Asiatic black man, there's mention of the Byzantine Empire. See? Why would Erdogan be white, but the other people will not be white? Now, we've heard about South Americans or Latinos. So apparently the Latinos, since they are melanated, some will label them as being of African descent. Others will label them as being part of our people. Of course, I'm not claiming that it's the case for all Mexicans, but it is no secret, at least in America, at least in the West Coast, that the relationship between Mexicans and black people has not been the greatest. There's plenty of Mexicans who have publicly stated their disdain for black people. So it seems to me like this philosophy is strange to say the least. Because those same people will actually try to make separation between African Americans and Africans but they would embrace people in South America who don't think much of African Americans. Some might say, well, it is bad in prison only. Well, that's not the case. So, for the record, there's this video that's very interesting called White Semites Black Awakening. Because I've usually talked about the standard of war, and I even, share the screen. And some people sometimes told me, well, how do we know? How do we know? But the standard of war is just one monument. Actually, I don't even show the standard of war in the video White Semites Black Awakening. I show it in a video called Black Semites Shocking Revelation. But in the video White Semites Black Awakening, that you have in the description of my video here and the other videos as well, you see plenty of artifacts. There's no denial. And as a matter of fact, I have shown the painting, and the original is available as well, from Beni Hassan, where we see some Canaanites or Asiatics along with some people from Kemet, some ancient Egyptians. And we can clearly see the difference in phenotype and skin tone. But I guess because they are Asiatics, then they are melanated. It seems that the pale skin or white/Caucasian individuals that happen to be located in Asia will be automatically melanated. Seems biased because the majority of pale skinned people living in Asia happens to be Muslims. And the Moors deal with Islamism, that is their religion. So basically, they are some sort of Islamic organization. So there is a solidarity in terms of the religion. But amazingly, it seems that we cannot even establish the ethnicity of ancient people. But I give it to the brother. When I asked him, or when I clarified that people like Wesley Muhammad claim that the Arabs of the 7th century used to be jet black, he said that he didn't agree with that, And it's this difficult to fathom. So for the record, for those who don't know, it's in the description of my video, as well as other videos. There's a link that says color of Prophet Muhammad according to Islamic sources. It says something to that effect. And you will see a very detailed article dealing with Sahih Hadith. You have the right and the choice to just believe someone just because they said something, or you can look up the arguments presented. And when we are dealing with Sahih Hadith, there's not much discussion. The main claim deals with the word Abyad, and the use in Lisan al-Arab by Ibn Manthur. And funny thing is that when you look at the definition of Abyad in that Arabic lexicon, it says Dida Aswad, which means opposite of Aswad. Aswad meaning black. It's the strongest word, or let's say the main word for black in Arabic, just like Abyad. Abyad is the main word for white in Arabic. So if it states in Lisan al-Arab, written by Ibn Manthur, once again, that white is the opposite of black, then someone needs to explain to me how they claim that the Arabs of the 7th century, particularly Muhammad ibn Abdullah, was black, when he is described with a word that is the opposite of black. If they would have stuck to the claim that Abyad doesn't necessarily only deal with skin color, but it can mean a noble character, that would be one thing. But them claiming that Abyad meant black back in the days, it doesn't fly. You understand what I'm saying? It's very difficult That claim doesn't hold weight. But the sad thing is that the majority of people are not familiar with the names that I've given, with the sources that I've given. I mean, you can ask a lot of Muslims. They might have heard about hadith, but they just know some compilations of mixed hadith. They have not necessarily read Sahih Bukhari or parts of it. There's another thing I wanted to address, but in the Arabic, but I think if it escapes me. It might come back later on. But this article is there and very, very detailed. And for those who don't know, yes, I was challenged for debate publicly and I accepted. And then the PhD back down. So that's just for the record. But I have some article refuting him. I have a page refuting him, but the article is just not focused on him. Though I quote him, I quote, I think, two of his books, but I quote other people, other work. You understand what I'm saying? So people don't need to be fluent in Arabic in order to deal with these issues because we have plenty of dictionaries. Some are online and available free of charge. But it's not a difficult task to do some comparison and to have a look. So nobody will refute or dispute. Well, nobody that is an Orthodox Muslim will dispute or refute the Hadith, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Sahih Bukhari kind of has a special status because it is considered the most reliable of Hadith collections. So we can say that after the Quran, that's the next book. But then we have some people who say, well, that's not the Quran. The Quran does not give physical description or definitely not about skin tone or color when it comes to Muhammad. So when we want to know about the deeds and the sayings of the Prophet or the companions of the Prophet, that's in the Hadith that we get the answers. And there are plenty of physical descriptions for Muhammad ibn Abdullah. But that's the main things I wanted to address. But I realize that things haven't changed much, and when people have ideologies and philosophies, usually remains the same for a long time. But I hear the same things, like first people were black, so black people must have populated the whole world and so on. But that's to me, it's really a shortcut. Can somebody explain to me why Erdogan, the one on the top right, is not melanated, but the other people here are melanated? There's some picking and choosing. There are some selection, and the religion comes into play. So the ideology comes into play. So really, that was my main message. You know how it is. If you want to participate, you have the invite link. But lately I'm not really expecting many people to come in because people are shy. They don't want to show their face. But you still have the chat. So if somebody wants to say something, then feel free. But I wanted to state that for the record. I was quite surprised actually, but we're gonna get some clarity. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. But as for the people who claim, well, I can show pictures of black people in such and such country, I can show pictures of black people in Russia. That doesn't make Russians black. You understand what I'm saying? And when I talk about people from a from a country, for example, I don't mean each and every single person of that country, because if I talk about France, there are plenty of black people in France, but I'm talking about the majority of inhabitants. That's what I mean. You understand what I'm saying? But it looks like we cannot even agree on who's black and who's not, or who is of African descent and who's not. See, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Don't you have any input, brothers and sisters? Any statements, any comments? We can address this or any other things, It reminds me though of that website. I made a video called All Black Everything, and on that video you see someone who has made some compilation of different pictures and so on. And we allegedly see black people like basically everywhere in the world. We even have a depiction of Jesus being black. It's the usual thing, but if you look at the dates and if you look for references, it's very, very unlikely to say the least. But our people seem to have a fascination with finding black people in Asia primarily, you know. So that being said, there is the Melanated. And even though I have shared many times this chart coming from Anthony Browder's book, Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization, lately I showed a scholar who showed the chart of the Melanated going through the Phoenician and the Hebrew, and ultimately the Greek and the our script, A, B, C, D, all the way to the Z. Our script ultimately derived from the Melanated. How amazing is that? Where's the interest there? We have the depictions of the ancient Egyptians, contrary to what some people say. Now, we have some people who actually claim that the Melanated has not been deciphered, and we have one person. We have one black person, that claims that the ancient Egyptians were white, that they were not black. I'm going to say the person's name. But some might have doubts because you must have seen some videos on YouTube and elsewhere where they show you different individuals and indeed they appear to be white skin or pale skin. But for the records, they are showing you individuals from the late period, from the time period after the land was under the control of the Ptolemy dynasty. The first Ptolemy was a general of Alexander the Greek, Alexander the Great, as they called him. And after the Greeks, then you had the Romans. So that's what they like to show people from around 400 BC onwards. But if you take the time to go on museums, like I've been doing for years, you will see the phenotype and the skin tone of the ancient Egyptians. And the older the artifacts are, you'll see that many times the blacker they appear, the more melanated they appear. Sometimes the color has faded away because the artifacts are very old. We have some artifacts, some statues like 2000 BC, which is 4,000 years old. Not only statues, but we have plenty of artifacts with writing. So it's very detailed, very informative, and very well preserved. But like I have stated, because of the Abrahamic belief system and the portrayal of Pharaoh and the inhabitants of ancient Egypt, the result is that many black people don't have much to do with Kemet. But this narrative is theology, not history. It's not attested in history, and you can ask scholars for proofs or reference. The Exodus story is one of the most extraordinary claims for which we don't have any validation. So stay strong, brothers and sisters who are into Kemet, but remember, learn the language, learn the culture. You need to arm yourself and equip yourself with knowledge. Otherwise, you'll get walked on. Because people will try any avenue for their claims. All right. So that's a good 20 minutes. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if I'm allowed to, Brother Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotep. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Melanated classes. And here
That's the flyer. Okay. So those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Melanated class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Melanated lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had ever. So if you're interested in learning the Melanated, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Melanated, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Melanated classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Melanated class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.